Friends, we all want to see elimination of poverty. We want to see the end of poverty. But we want to see this elimination of or end of poverty in our lifetime. We don't want to wait. This poverty elimination process will take 50 years, 60 years. So people like Nitish Kumar, myself, we want that in the next 20, 25 years, how this poverty can be eliminated. And in the last 4 years when Sri Nitish Kumar became Chief Minister of Bihar, we have taken many initiatives which will result in the elimination of poverty. And I think this a group of Abdul Latif Jameel Poverty Action Lab will study the impact of those initiatives, those interventions, those initiatives taken by the Bihar government. First of all, I would like to explain about one of the major initiatives which will have a long impact in the countryside, that is regarding the reservation for the women in the panchayat elections and in the urban local bodies. As you all know, that the Indian Constitution provides for 33% of reservation for women in the panchayat and in the urban local bodies. But the Bihar government has taken a bold initiative by providing 50% of reservation in urban local bodies and panchayat elections. And we have completed 4 years. And now Government of India has also decided to provide this 50% reservation throughout the country. I would like that this Abdul Latif Jameel, this Poverty Action Lab, should study the impact, what impact it is having in the countryside. Because sometimes people ridicule what you have done. You are empowering the women, those women who should look after their family, who should look after their children, who should look after the cooking in their houses, and you have made them the chairman of the panchayat of the local body. So what is the impact? As an ordinary citizen or as a political activist, I can tell you, when I visit the countryside, I found women, those who never venture to come out of their houses, those who are in parda. Now those young women or women, they are presiding over the panchayat meetings. Those who could not speak a single word, now those are delivering lectures. And now there is a crowd in front of those women for taking their signatures, for taking some other benefits from them. And many of the women sitting here, they will not very eager to shake hand with the male people, but in the countryside, in the villages, the panchayat women, when we go there, they come forward and started shaking their shaking hand. So there is a complete change, and it is only 4 years. So I would like what kind of social impact, what other socio-economic impact this panchayat reservation has brought about in the villages of Bihar. In the same way, we have taken much more initiatives. I would like to mention only some of those initiatives. Another such initiative is regarding providing bicycle to the girl students. Those girl students are studying in class 9 or class 10, because we have very few high schools in Bihar. There are only 3,000 high schools when we required more than 15,000 high schools. So it is very difficult for a girl child to travel 15 kilometers or 20 kilometers to go to the high school. So we launched a program by providing 2,000 rupees to purchase a bicycle. And this number is not very small number. You will be surprised to know that this year we are going to provide 4,36,000, about 500,000 girl students in Bihar will get money to purchase bicycle. And now we have decided that even the male students or the boy students, we are also going to provide 2,000 rupees to those students also. And that number is now 10. In many other parts of the country, in many other states, they are also providing this type of bicycle. So that is the most important thing is in Bihar. That is a number. In other states, hardly 50,000, 1 lakh. But this year we are going to provide 10 lakh, about 1 million boys and girls, in which 500,000 is girl students, to purchase bicycle by giving them 2,000 rupees. And my friends, if you had been to Patna about 7-8 years back, you would not have been find a single girl riding a cycle in a place like Patna. But now if you go to the countryside, if you go to the villages, you will find hundreds of girls together on a bicycle going to the school. So it is not just the education, it is the empowerment also. Because when a girl start driving a bicycle, it is empowering her. It creates a confidence in her. So just I wanted to mention these things. So how these things will help in eliminating poverty, what kind of socio-economic, political impact it is having in the villages. In the same way, another big scheme which we have launched this year is providing money for purchase of dress, for clothing. You will be surprised, the people are so poor in the villages. They don't send their child to the school because they don't have clothes, because they have only one single cloth. And they feel depressed. Our girl will go to the school, she is having only one set of cloth, dress. So the normal families, they didn't send their children to the school. But this year we have decided, this program is already going on, but this year we are going to provide 1 crore, 10 million boys and girls. So we are providing 500 rupees and 700 rupees to 10 million boy and girl students studying class 4, 5, 6, 7 and 8. For 4, 5, 6, 500 rupees, and for 6, 7, 8, 700 rupees. So the important thing is the number. And one more thing I would like to mention, because there is a lot of debate in this country regarding conditional cash transfer. Because there is a debate how to provide money, how to provide things to the poor people. So our Chief Minister has demanded, because there is a lot of leakage in the public distribution system, in many other systems. So it is better to provide money through cash transfer. And I am glad to inform you that most of these schemes are cash money transfer, cash transfer. All these, we could have also purchased bicycle, but instead of purchasing it is so difficult to purchase 10 lakh of bicycles, procuring to floating tender, then purchasing and then distributing them. So it was easier for us to provide them with the 2,000 rupees in cash to purchase the bicycle, to give them 500 rupees to purchase clothes, whichever type of clothes they want to purchase, they can purchase. So all these, most of the schemes are cash transfer schemes. So this is another important thing which we have. Another thing I would like to mention, that this year Bihar is going to spend 5,000 crore. I don't know how much is 5,000 crore in billion or million, but 5,000 crore we are going to spend this year only on the, 10,000 crore. 10,000 crore on the plan and non-plan both side on education itself. So you can imagine the impact of education in eliminating poverty. But I would like that some kind of a study must be taken regarding the midday meal scheme. I don't have the exact figure, but I think more than 800 to 1000 crore we are spending on midday meal scheme. And I find that the midday meal scheme is not very successful in Bihar. There are a lot of leakages, there are a lot of problems. And even in a state like Tamil Nadu, which pioneered this midday meal scheme in the year 1984, now they have, after 20 years of their experience, they've been able to, their officers were telling me that still 15 to 20% leakage is still there in Tamil Nadu. So you can imagine if in a state like Tamil Nadu, there's 20% of leakage even after 20 years of the scheme. So what is the condition in Bihar? So how to improve this midday meal scheme? And MLAs were telling me in Tamil Nadu that when in 1984 this midday scheme was launched, people were laughing, they were ridiculing the politicians that they are wasting money. You are providing meals to the students. And now this scheme has been is being implemented in all the states of this country. And I think this is one of the major intervention, not only to eliminate poverty, but bringing the children to the school. But this ICDS, this midday meal scheme, so it requires a lot of improvement in these schemes. In the same way, you are going to discuss a special, a separate session for the health also. But I would like to mention only 3 or 4 things. How small interventions can bring about change in the society. There is a scheme of Janani Suraksha Yojana, the central government scheme, in which if any women come for delivery to the hospital, simply provided 1400 or 1600 rupees. This single scheme, the figure which has been given by the department, in the year 5-6, there were only 45,000 institutional delivery in Bihar, only 45,000. And when this scheme has been launched in year 9-10, in first 3 months, the number has gone to 3,12,000. So from 45,000 in a single year, this institutional delivery has gone to 3,12,000 in 4 months. And you can imagine if 3,12,000 is April, May, June, July, 4 months, then what will be the figure in the year 9-10? So by giving incentive to the poor people, if you deliver your child in the hospital, government will provide money. And by this single intervention, I don't have the figure how the infant mortality have improved and other things have improved. But definitely it will have its impact on the health care of the women in the village area. In the same way, patients were not coming to the hospitals because the doctors were not there, and even if doctors were there, they were not able to purchase the medicines. So the government decided that we will provide 33 medicines in OPD and 37 medicines in IPD, and this single intervention has increased the number of patients coming to the hospitals, whereas only 39 patients were visiting in our primary health center before 5-6. This number has increased to 4,500 patients per month in primary health centers. So it is not only the doctors, even if you provide with the doctors, patients will not come because the people are so poor they can't purchase medicines. So by providing free medicines, and the department is given with a figure that in the year 4-5, we gave only 3 crore rupees for free medicine, and this number has increased to 68 crore in the year 8-9. So friends, these type of interventions, this immunization, full immunization of children, in the year 98-99 it was 11%, it has increased to 53%. In the same way in the social sector, Mr. Vijay Verma is sitting here, he will give you the more details. In a state like Bihar, the widows are in large number. In every village, because of the child marriage. And if his husband dies, she becomes a widow, and there is no tradition of remarrying of the widow. So lakhs of widows are there in the villages, and they are dependent on their parents, on their family members. We have, though there was a scheme in which we were giving 200 rupees as a pension to those widows, but it was a target oriented. In the whole of Bihar, we were giving about 8 to 10 lakh widows that pension. But this year we have decided that we will identify each and every widow in the village, and each and every widow in the state will be provided with the pension. In the same way, the handicapped people, I was surprised to see in the villages. I was not knowing there is a large number of handicapped in Bihar. But when there was a one camp for giving this certificate for a handicap, I don't have the number exact, but lakhs of people are handicapped, and those are being ignored by the family and by the society. And we have decided, although there is a scheme for giving them pension 200 rupees, but again it's a target oriented, about 5 lakh, 7 lakh, 8 lakh. But now we have decided that from this year, each and every handicapped people, either is a child, children, or of any age, he will be provided with a 200 rupees pension. Many of people sitting here may be surprised, what will happen if 200 rupees? For many people, 200 rupees is a one day's pocket money. But for those poor people, will not believe even 200 rupees is not a small amount. And this 200 rupees can change those widows, those handicapped, those old age people. So these are the things. Basically, friends, I feel as a political activist that if you want to eliminate poverty, you have to improve the purchasing power of an individual. Without purchasing power, we can't improve, we can't eliminate poverty. And for purchasing power, one should have job, not necessarily the government job. One should have job. And the biggest problem in Bihar, because of the floods, the most of the migration is taking place from those districts, Madhubani, Darbhanga, Sitamarhi, which are facing floods every year. And because of the floods, lakhs of labor, they migrate to other parts of India in search of job. And out of 365 days, they hardly get job for 3 months or 4 months. 8 months they don't have any job. So if they don't have job, they don't have purchasing power. So if you want to eliminate poverty, we will have to provide them with the skill, we have to provide them with a job, so they can have a purchasing power. And once they have that power, that purchasing power is with them, then they can themselves remove their poverty. So friends, there are a lot of examples which we are trying. Just in the last, I would mention one more important thing regarding the number of people below poverty line in Bihar. There is a debate going on in this country. What is the poverty line? Who are the people below poverty line? What are their number? And it's very difficult. People, those who are just above the poverty line. If suppose you fix a poverty line as 1,000 rupees, people below 1,000 are below poverty line, then the person who is earning 1,200, he is also poor, and he feels that I have been excluded. So the number of people below poverty line is a big issue in India, and especially in a state like Bihar. There are different surveys. When we surveyed, according to the central government estimate, we found that more than 1 crore 50 lakh families are below poverty line in Bihar. 1 crore 50 lakh. And Government of India is providing food grain and other central allocation, assuming that there are 65 lakh poor people in Bihar. And now there is another survey report, Mr. Suresh Tendulkar report, which has been put on the website of Planning Commission. Suresh Tendulkar committee was constituted by Planning Commission, and they found that more than 54% people are below poverty line in Bihar. So this is also a very important issue, and all the central government money which is being given to the states, it is based on the number of people below poverty line. So what should be the criteria of, so there are many NC Saxena committee report, Tendulkar committee report, then another assumption by the Planning Commission. So there are different yardsticks and different assumptions regarding the people below poverty line. So friends, there are a lot of issues. I would not like to go into the details of those issues. But one should remember that Bihar, it is one of the most poorest state of this country. And the main factors contributing to this poverty, I think one of the major factor is the floods, because 2/3 of districts are flood prone districts, and every year there is a flood. And apart from flood, we have to face a drought, and because of these floods and drought, there is a migration. There is a high density of population in Bihar, about more than 900, I don't have the exact figure, but 900 people per square kilometer, the population density, it is 900 more than 900 per square kilometer. So this is the density of population. So I feel the floods, it is the major contribution, it is a major contribution for poverty in Bihar. So friends, and low industrialization, because there is a floods, there are no raw material in Bihar, there are no mines in Bihar. So when Bihar and Jharkhand were together, all the investment which was coming to Bihar, that came in the Jharkhand part of Bihar, though it was assumed that that investment is in Bihar, but all the investment that came to Bihar, it was in Jharkhand part of Bihar. So HEC was in Ranchi, Bokaro was in Bokaro Steel Plant, Jamshedpur Tata Steel Plant, all the major industries, all the major investment, all the major institutions, they came up all in the Jharkhand part of Bihar. And this part of Bihar was always ignored. And people used to assume that whatever is coming, it is coming in Bihar, either it is in this part or that part. But after bifurcation, we don't have any big institutions. Bihar has a big potential for agriculture. And the first veterinary college, it was established in the year 1927. So one of the oldest veterinary college, it was in Bihar, in Patna, having a campus of 1,000 acre, more than 1,000 acre. Patna was having a medical college, it was the 6th medical college of this country, Prince of Wales Medical College. So it was 6th medical college. So you will find all the institutions which came into Bihar, it was all 40 years or 45 years back. So there was no investment in Bihar in the industrial sector. So friends, I can speak for hours and hours on this subject, but you have to discuss the whole day on different subjects. So just I've tried to mention some of the issues. और मैं ये उम्मीद करूँगा कि अभिजीत जी यहाँ पर हैं कि you should take some of the 4, 5, 6 issues, and we want the study on those issues. कि what are the lacuna, what are the loopholes? And I think the biggest problem, not only for Bihar, for all the poorer states, is the crisis of implementation. Though there is a dearth of money, money is a factor, but I personally feel the biggest problem is to spending the money. Even if you have money, how to spend that money? So the delivery mechanism, it is the weakest link in our whole system. So how to improve the delivery mechanism? How to improve the delivery? How to execute the programs? So I think many such programs which we have taken, hundreds of programs in different fields. तो मैं चाहूँगा आपके द्वारा कि इस तरह के जो विभिन्न कार्यक्रम हमारी सरकार बिहार में चला रही है, उसका कॉम्परेटिव स्टडी कि देश के बाकी राज्यों में वो स्कीम्स किस तरह से चल रही हैं, एंड वी कैन लर्न, वी कैन टेक लेसन्स फ्रॉम द एक्सपीरियंस इन अदर स्टेट्स। द मिड डे मील स्कीम वॉच तमिलनाडु इज फेसिंग, तो एक कॉम्पिटिटिव स्टडी करके और किस तरह का इंटरवेंशन की आवश्यकता है, किस तरह के हम लोग को सुधार करना चाहिए, अगर आप ये सुझाव देंगे तो मैं विश्वास दिलाता हूं कि ये सरकार बहुत रिसेप्टिव है, बहुत संवेदनशील सरकार है, और जो भी सुझाव इस प्रकार के आएंगे उन सुझावों को हम क्रियान्वित करने का प्रयास करेंगे। हमारे जितने सीनियर ऑफिसर्स हैं यहाँ, सारे सीनियर डिपार्टमेंट के ऑफिसर्स बैठे हुए हैं, तो वी आर वन ऑफ द बेस्ट talented officers in Bihar, which are doing their level best in implementing all these schemes. But friends, though Bihar has achieved a growth rate of more than 11.03%, so but we are not only happy with this growth rate, because the local people, but the common man, they don't have to eat that growth rate. They want delivery, they want food, they want employment, they want roads, they want electricity, they want other things. So though we are happy with this growth rate, but we know that if the same growth rate continues for 15 years, if Bihar grows at the rate of 11% for 15 years, then we will achieve what Maharashtra is today. So the gross domestic product of Maharashtra, what it is today, so we require 15 years of vigorous 11% growth rate, and by that time Maharashtra will threefold its gross state domestic product. So sometimes I feel that Bihar will always be a laggard state, it will always tracking behind other states. तो इसलिए मित्रों, मैं आप सब लोगों को ये विश्वास दिलाता हुआ कि ये सरकार, लेकिन जैसा मैंने कहा कि हम सब लोगों का एक ही सपना है कि 50 साल हो गए गरीबी से लड़ते हुए. So we want to end this poverty in our lifetime. So whatever we have to do to achieve that elimination, we are ready to do. और आप सब लोगों के सहयोग से मुझे पूरा विश्वास है कि हम लोग बिहार के अंदर जो आवश्यक बदलाव वो लाने का प्रयास करेंगे. इसलिए मित्रों, मैंने इसलिए और कुछ बातों का जिक्र किया है, और अगर माननीय मुख्यमंत्री आते तो अच्छा रहता, लेकिन जैसा मैंने बताया कि माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी को 3 दिनों के लिए पटना से बाहर जाना है, इसलिए उन्होंने मुझे रात को आग्रह किया कि मैं नहीं आ पाऊंगा, और उद्घाटन सत्र में और मुझे उन्होंने और अपने प्रतिनिधि के नाते और यहाँ पर प्रेषित किया है. तो मैं अपनी ओर से, अपनी सरकार की ओर से, एंड ऑन बिहाफ ऑफ चीफ मिनिस्टर, आई वेलकम यू ऑल, एंड वी हैव, और मुझे बड़ी खुशी है कि अभिजीत जी जैसे लोग और अमेरिका के जो दुनिया की सबसे टॉप यूनिवर्सिटीज़ हैं और अन्य विश्वविद्यालयों से भी जो एक्सपर्ट्स और जो विद्वान हैं वो वहाँ पर आए हैं. तो फिर से एक बार मैं आपका स्वागत करता हूँ, अभिनंदन करता हूँ, और आपके हर प्रकार के सहयोग की अपेक्षा करता हूँ. धन्यवाद.